But most of our young people, more and more, unchurched. They out there drifting. And when you drift, what happens? You pick up the influence of the dominant forces. What are the dominant forces in the American empire these days? Money, cash, status, spectacle, survival of the slickest, obsessed with the 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught. That becomes a whole way of life. So that to be human is to be successful. It's not to be morally and spiritually great. And you be successful by any means. So young folk come up to me these days, Brother West, I'm working on my brand. I said, oh, really? What's your brand? I ain't got no brand. I got a cause. I don't have a brand. A brand is a market strategy to get over. A cause is what you're willing to live for and die for. You see, qualitative difference. You see, qualitative difference. I mean, as a Christian, the kingdom of God ain't no brand. Fighting for freedom of black people ain't no brand. Fighting for freedom for everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what color, no matter what gender, no matter what sexual orientation, all of them made in the image and likeness of a loving God.
Welcome, friends and family. Welcome to the show.
Friends and family.
We're kind of hot. My light's kind of hot, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Let me put on my readers.
It's funny. You look hot, and I look burnt out. Can you see?
No.
Can you stand up and turn that down?
Well,
I'll do it.
Can you put something up?
Cute. You look
Can
cute.
you put something up? Is there a... I see Carl in the waiting room.
Carl's
hey,
waiting.
Carl with the K. Hey, everybody. Yeah, okay. Well, you can do it now.
I'll do it, yeah.
Okay. Look at our family. Back in the days. There you go.
Is that better?
Okay. Whew, much better, Lord.
All right. Well, welcome. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
So funny how fast time goes. In that picture, like Sydney in the middle. She's 23. Wow. 23.
Welcome.
23 years old, going into her second year of medical school.
That's crazy.
And yeah, the little one next to me on this side, she's gonna be 23 in February. Gosh. And then baby is gonna be 20 in September. Time really flies. This week, before we get started, this week has been an interesting week as far as the whole life cycle. I think I'm feeling sentimental because been a lot of transitions, people going through their biggest transition, I guess, in life. Had a good friend that I worked with at Fox 5 for many years who made her transition. And it's funny because when you sort of get out of touch with people, you're not sure what's going on, but she had really been struggling with health concerns for the last several years. And yeah, made her transition. So her celebration of life would be next week. And then a guy I went to high school with, not sure. And it's interesting because, you know, this is a guy who is just so full of life. Many of you probably know him if you're from the D.C. area. Dante Medina was his name. I knew him when he came to BCC as, I think I was a senior and he was a junior. But Northwest D.C. Guy, grew up, like not too far from my parents' house in upper Northwest in DC. A line sister of mine, her husband passed away, another line sister, her brother, but this all just happened.
Sheesh.
Like I just found out about all of this in the last 3 days or so. So it's just a reminder, looking at that picture of just how life is. So you really just got to
Appreciate each moment.
You got to appreciate every moment. And life is energy. I often stress out, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before we get into it. I often stress out about like trying to make sure the family finances are together and to just keep everything going. You think, okay, we're both in these really visible jobs, but at the end of the day, like checks are checks, money is money, and what if you have a lot going out, it just is all relative, right?
Yeah.
And so, but then my middle daughter reminds me that like money is energy. So it goes out, it comes back in. You have to have a certain vibration around it, not a lack around it. And I think that's the same way that life is. You just have to know that life comes and goes, and to not hold on way too tightly to experience the sadness when you lose somebody, but to know that they are truly in a better place. Why would I be selfish and want them here if they're in pain? So
Yeah.
it's just I'm in that kind of mood.
Little melancholy,
family.
little joy.
I'm not melancholy. I'm just reflective.
Yeah.
And I'm super aware and conscious of how life can be and how life can change like that in a minute. So let's love on our families. Let's love on each other.
So, baby, where's your intro? Is that piece of paper over there? It's not over there. That's it. So so shout out to, first of all, I want to remind people, as you can see at the bottom, we can't see your Instagram comments. So if you want to comment, probably go to our Facebook page, Allison and Marc in the Afternoon. That's on the bottom. So if you want to comment, go to the Facebook Allison and Marc page and comment. I know that one works, but because people were complaining that YouTube and or Instagram definitely does not. They can't see the comments. People want to comment, you can't make the comments, but you can do that. Also, today, you can actually call in. You can call in, and I'll tell you about that later on, because we might do an Ask Allison and have you call in for a change. And so let's say hi to the people checking in. Cousin, Marita, Christian. Babe, I don't think you've ever met Marita.
I don't
My
think
little
so
cousin.
either. Hey, Marita.
My little cousin, Marita.
Hey, cousin.
Oh, no, she's so cute. Last week, you weren't here, babe, and you're here, and people are here. You weren't here last week, and people were not here. So you're the magic in this high-performing podcast. Thank you, Jesus. I married Allison.
Oh.
Marita's in the house. Tyani Hicks from Georgia's checking in.
All right.
What's up to Anthony P. Souza? Greetings, DC family from Raleigh, North Carolina. Gotta say what's up to Gloria. Gloria, Upper Northwest in the building.
Yeah.
And Jackie Bowden Lofton. What's up, fam? Love you too, Jackie. And wanted to at least shout you guys out. And again, excited. Marita says happy Juneteenth. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, great people. Before we go to Carl, babe, on a light, we just want to get some, like you said, get a lighter note, kind of make a warm, funny thing. Babe, I did this video that you did with Fifi, the challenge.
Mhm.
Can I play it? Are you okay?
Oh, sure.
This is a little light, a little fun stuff to start the show off with. So, babe, go ahead and voice this. You did this with our late dog.
Well, let me first introduce you formally to the
That's right.
podcast,
That's
so we can
If you haven't seen this
so we can
before.
get into it. Welcome to the Allison and Marc in the Afternoon podcast. We are two Gen X media pros who happen to have been married for the last 24 years. We have 3 grown kids that we adore. We talk about everything from politics to pop culture with a little bit of humor and a whole lot of love. And this is a little bit of that humor piece. So a couple of years ago, there was this thing like the, I forget what it was called, one of the
Blah, blah, blah
challenges. One of the challenges. What was it?
The blah, blah, blah challenge.
Yeah, it was like the drop the leash when you're walking your puppy and see if they come back challenge, right? So one dog in our whole history, Ladybird, she actually came back, but
Yes.
the rest, they were pretty funny. So we did another one because we have a new puppy, relatively, and her name is Fifi LaRoche. So that's okay. So when I tried to do it now, because I was scared to fall, y'all, so they were like, what is going on, mama? But okay, so I think this is the one where she's a good girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So I pretend fall
That
in the
fall.
street, and then she comes right back. But there's another one. Do you have the other one? Okay. Look at Ladybird.
I feel like I did it already.
Ladybird. Okay, so now this is the other
Babe,
one.
your falls are hilarious.
Well, yeah, this is That's my pratfall.
'Cause
And then she keeps
She
going.
didn't respect the fall. No, I'm not. She didn't. She was like, "What's going on?" She didn't like the fall. So Corey, what's up?
No.
Yes, welcome to the show. Now
Yeah.
that confirms that. Are we silly? Yes, we are silly. Okay. Carl with the K is in. What? Wait a minute. Carl with the K is joining us, baby. You know he has a busy Wednesday, and so this is a blessing that Carl with the K with the Black Trivia Network can join us.
Hey, Carl.
The blessing is always being here with you guys, so that's not a problem.
Happy Juneteenth to you, Carl.
Carl, you weren't here last week, and nobody was here, so obviously I am not a draw. So, Carl, thank you. You and Allison are carrying this show. I appreciate it. So, and
not
actually,
a problem. Happy Juneteenth to you guys as well.
Definitely happy Juneteenth. Carl. Now, I did it at the TV station today, and I was like, America's weird. Like the Juneteenth piece is interesting. So you have a people who were enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
And so the holiday is basically around the fact that these people in Texas weren't aware that they were free.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how do I feel about that?
250,000 enslaved would-be, soon-to-be Americans did not know they were free. I had a whole conversation, and Carl, maybe you can clear this up. Like the whole timeline for me is it's a head scratcher. So in 1863, here comes the Emancipation Proclamation, yet it's ratified these 2 years after. So and then this whole group of Texans.
Okay, let me change question number one.
Okay. Oh, but this whole group of enslaved people in Galveston, which is, I guess, like a very far, very northern part, I suppose, all the way down, did not know. But my question is, how did anyone know? Was it the Union soldiers that went around giving the message? Because I know messages were able to be received via newspaper, telegraph, however other way for these planters or these owners. So the onus would have been on them to say, guess what, y'all can go. But that didn't necessarily happen.
And that sounds like a
Can you
terrible
set the
idea.
record straight? Right.
Well, I mean, from my research exactly, I don't understand how it took so long for Texas to find out when all the states in front of them found out as well. But I think it is. I haven't come to a solid conspiracy, but I think that it was an owners. We're like, we're just not going to tell them.
Yeah.
That's what I think. The slave owners just were like, we're just not going to say anything until we have to, and that's when
we have to.
And I think that's why it took the military to come and issue, because the issuance was not even the Emancipation Proclamation. They had another order that they read off of saying that these slaves were free.
Interesting, yeah.
And it was, I think, General Order number 3.
And only in the Confederate States, and the whole thing is the message. It feels like to me it feels like when someone is proven their innocence is proven and they're incarcerated and they still got to go through all these changes before they can just say, look, we were wrong. You're free. So anyway, yeah. So
wait, did you say that they were wrong?
Okay, that's the first you got to do that.
Right. First,
you got to do that. So anyway, what you got, Carl?
Well, I'll keep the first question, but you kind of like said it.
Yeah.
But how many years after the Emancipation Proclamation was General Order number 3 announced to the slaves in Texas? Was it 2, 3, or 5?
2.
Thankfully, it was 2.
And was it like 2.5 actually, something like that?
It was like 2.5. Yeah.
Right.
I just round out to 2.
But again,
thankfully,
do they teach this in school?
I think that,
shakily.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a federal holiday, but is it even taught in school?
I think they say, well, it just became a federal holiday a couple of years ago, so I think that they just wrap it all up into, and then freedom came after the Civil War.
This is how the class goes. Frederick Douglass, Juneteenth, Martin Luther King, and Harriet Tubman. Well, good night.
Yep, basically
that's the class.
Yeah.
That's it. That's basically it. God forbid you mention Malcolm X.
Oh yeah, they don't mention Malcolm X.
Yeah.
All right. So number 2 is kind of on the track what you said. In what year did Texas become the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday? They were the first state to do so. What year did they do it in? 70, 80, or 90?
Ooh, I didn't know it was that far back. Wow. Okay. Just because I love the 80s, I'll say 80, but I
90.
did not know that.
It was 1980.
Okay.
1980 is when they first officially. It was that in 1980 was when Texas did it. They were first to do it, of course, because
Okay.
that was, and it was
That was where it
celebrated
was.
there annually. That's when I first learned about it when I was in college, because some guys from Texas were talking about it, and it got into a class, and I was like, God, I never even knew this.
Why do we know Carl was that guy in college? Carl, you play an instrument? You look like you play an instrument.
DJ.
Yeah. You look like Carl was the guy everybody knew. He was smart. He was bookish. He had the ladies because he was a nice guy, but he also had another side. Yeah,
In the friend zone.
So, Carl, I have a question about that. Texas is a decidedly red state, right? Totally
Right.
Republican controlled. I am very, very surprised, but it speaks to what I always say is the schizophrenia that is our country.
It is a
So they're
murder.
the last two. I mean, that was only what 115 years or so after
Right.
this whole thing happened. We're celebrating somebody who's turning like 110
Yeah.
right now. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But I guess
Yeah.
as long as you're not talking about reparations, then we can make it a holiday.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's you
It's
can't.
that
You don't want to
lip
hear the R
service.
word.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the R word.
Carl, are you out today? Are you in the streets today? You working today?
I am at TGI Fridays in Arundel Mills today. I'll be there
Let me
at
tell you
7,
something.
starting around 7 tonight.
There'd be nothing better to order a nice steak and then play trivia with Carl.
Oh yeah.
A nice cold drink on a hot summer day. Man, that's a good
During a
combination.
heat wave. All right.
You know
Do you
what I
have
mean?
one more for us, Carl?
Yeah, but you kind of like said it, but let's see if anybody was
That's what
listening.
you give me. Got smart
This
Allison.
is the Juneteenth
Yeah.
edition. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do
No
it.
problem.
I've just been fired
But
up all day about
what
it.
was the Texas town that the announcement was made in? You already said it, so let
Yeah,
Mark see if
should I just
see if
say-
Mark was paying attention.
What was the town, babe?
It was I know it. That's where Tony's from, but it's the old mine. Come on, mine. Come on,
Come on, you can do it.
come on. It's Galveston, Texas.
There it
Ding,
is,
ding,
Galveston,
ding.
Texas. Galveston, Texas. Yes.
Wow. So once again, Carl is out in these streets. If you want to see Carl in person, Carl, where are you going to be?
I'll be at TGI Fridays at Arundel Mills tonight, starting around 7. We're doing now my shots round. I'm going to be doing the Juneteenth because I couldn't do a whole 2 hours of Juneteenth questions.
The
So we're
shots
just going to
round.
have some fun, also honoring Black Music Month.
Yep.
So tonight is going to be her story.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Her story hits music, women in music from the 80s,
man.
90s,
Wait a minute,
and
Carl. Are
20s.
you DJing too?
Oh no. I'm just.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just
another
doing
ad,
trivia.
Carl. That's a good look, though. DJing too and trivia. Ricka. That's a good
Well,
idea.
I got to beat some bingo at a senior center tomorrow as well. So
I love Carl.
How old you? Do
every
you
day
win
I'm
some money?
hustling.
How old you got to be a senior at the bingo hall?
Our age.
I think 60 is the age.
Okay.
I think-
I love
think-
me some Carl. Now, Carl, leave them old ladies alone. Now, Carl, you know you hard. But Carl is a killer for the AARP crowd. Now, yeah, who is that young, strong-looking man on them ones and twos?
all those ladies who bypassed me in college and now giving me
Yeah, hip done went out. Now it's time for Carl. Carl time.
My Lord.
Well, Carl, have a great time. Good seeing you as
Thank
always.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you,
too,
Marita.
Carl.
We are gonna do something. We are gonna do something. Somebody says, Carl, this would be a good question tonight. R.I.P. Angela Bofield.
Oh, I got that one. I got it.
You got that?
Women in music. I got her down.
I knew you had that one. That's right up Carl's alley now.
Yeah.
And
That
Allison
was
Seymour's
one.
from DC, so she know everybody from DC know every Angela Bofield song ever, album cut and all. Yo, WHUR. Thank you, WHUR. All right, Carl. Thanks so much
Thanks,
again.
Carl.
And Sonya T is in the house now, babe. We've got a lot going on tonight. So,
Okay.
I did my favorite, podcast always gets a lot of play. So once again, I thought this is interesting. I thought it was funny because it showed Shannon Sharp's funny side. Clubs are thinking about in New York a club that's going to look if you have to have at least 50,000 in your bank account to come into the club. What do you think about that? This is their take about it. Ocho and Unc, it's Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharp. This is their take on it. And I thought the funny part was to me Shannon Sharp showing another side.
New York club that requires at least $50K in your bank account. I like that. Whatever they have to pick from, they know he got a little money and a little change on it.
And I already know what I'm dealing with when they come in there. So I know why they're there. They know why I'm there.
Like, we don't need to make it a long time. We need to make it a good time.
Somebody tell me make it 100K. You might not have about 10 people in there a night, man. What about the women? How much they got to have in their bank account?
They got to look the part. Just based on appearance in general.
Yeah.
You can snatch them up like this, quick.
Ocho, you ever see Wicked Tuna?
Right.
It ain't hooking him because you can hook him. But a lot of times they snap the line. Can you land him? Oh, can I buy you a drink? Sure. So how are you doing?
Okay.
Oh my God, how are you?
I like that laugh.
Oh my gosh. So how long have you lived in the city?
Can you imagine that, babe, a club where you know everybody at least got 50,000? Because here's the thing. You can make a lot of money.
I think people are lying in there.
Yeah.
Nobody, every person got $50,000 in their bank account.
Crazy?
Give me a break.
And I love the fact that they were smart.
And do the women have to? Is it just the men with $50,000?
Probably just the guys.
Well, there's a name for that.
What's it called?
That's not a name that I want to say right now. No, it's just like, why would the women not have to have it too?
Oh,
everybody needs to have it.
Okay, look at
because if the women don't, now all of a sudden we have a imbalance of power walking in the door. So are you buying these women with your bank account? Like,
well, not buying.
No, what I'm saying is because men are quick to call women gold diggers. So now you're in there. You got
that's
25.
That's a club. Yeah, that's that.
You got $25 in your bank account. You're in there with a whole bunch of dudes with $50,000. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Is it a good idea or a bad idea?
It's a bad idea. And the people in there, they're lying. Who has $50,000 in their bank account?
I love it
except for high profile people like, we got, of course, like all these positions that
the rich people.
The rich people, but they're going there. And the women don't have it too. So what are you going expecting to get if the women don't have it too?
Corey said bad.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? I need you to lock into what I'm saying. If the women don't have it, then are they thinking they're going to just because they have money, what's going to happen? It's like those men who take women out on dates and just because they bought them a little piece of blackened salmon, now we going back to your place? I don't think so.
We know what it is. It is what it is. You know what it is.
That's
I'm saying the club, you know what it is.
And I think people are going to be lying. B, if you go there and the women don't have to have it too, then what are your motives for going? And
the land of big fish.
All right.
The land of big fish. See, I think this is the part that, if I'm honest, watching these sports podcasts and these people, it makes me realize they're living in a different world than us normal people are.
And look, I understand now. I do understand that if everybody has $50,000 in their bank account and they're going to meet a high earner, another high earner, so then it's like, like the dating apps that you put in your preferences or whatever. I want somebody who's an executive. I want somebody who is making these six figures. For me, that sounds like, I don't even know, high six figures to have $50,000 in your bank account.
Yes.
Maybe I got too many bills coming out of my little check, but I can't even imagine what that is.
Yeah.
But if everybody does have it, then okay, that's fine. But if the women don't have to have it, then that's a flaw. That's
think,
my opinion. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, most people think it's flaw. I don't mind it because I know the game that you're playing. But actually, I see more of this happening. Actually, when you now, like you said, now the playing field, it's different. And like you said, if everybody has to do it, let's do it that way, where everybody's doing it.
Everybody has to do it.
So now it's probably going to be an elite club.
An elite club, okay, that's fine.
So now, and it's
like,
verified.
Like what a country club is, I suppose.
Yeah, so now it's verified because again, you can't have people slip through the cracks, but people always will figure it out. But then those high earners now have a place where they can meet another high earner.
As long as that's what I'm talking about. If the other person is a high earner, fine.
It'd be verified. It'd be like, and that'd be one of the features of the club.
If not, you're just like
everybody in here is verified. So
if not, you're like just Big Daddy walking around trying to impress somebody who doesn't have as much money or not in a different, status as you, and that's a bad precedent, in my opinion. So,
Well, again, so it was Father's Day, and so a lot of times on Wednesdays, guys, we post a lot. We post a lot on our social media.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I made something for fathers out there. So if you missed my post, I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit for you, if you don't mind. This is a little video I put together for Father's Day, and I'll tell you who the people are if you don't know who they are, by the way.
Yeah, Daddy loves you, my child, you're my dream come true. You my love forever, 'cause you're my treasure. Yeah, Daddy loves you, Your daddy loves you. You my love forever. Yes, you're my treasure. Hey son, no worry your head. Say a prayer when you go to your bed. Daddy love you and you know mommy too. Just know you unstoppable. Family are royalty. Take care of mommy, that's loyalty. God forbid the day I'm gone. We just want you carry on. Until then I'll be there for you. For your sisters and your mommy too. You know me love my kids, ain't no joke about it. That's why me have to shout it. Yeah, daddy loves you. My child, yeah, my dream come true. You my love forever. Cause you're my treasure. Yeah, daddy loves you. Your daddy loves you. You my love forever. Cause you're my treasure. Princess, what's up? Daddy loves you, you know that much. One day you walk and find a crush.
All right. So again, going out to the dads out there, a lot of those shots, of course, our family. And I really had an interesting, I talked to my cousin. My father, for those who don't know, I met my dad one time. So my cousin has been a joy because he was the only person in the family that really had a relationship with my father. Mm-hmm. And every time I talk to him, I find something different. And I'm in this space where, shout out to David Miller. David Miller told me so many African-American men have not had a relationship with their father or something. He said he wants to do a book. He wants to do a project. He's trying to get funding where we find out our father's story. That's right, Marita. That's our granddad. That's right. That's my cousin right there, Marita, in Memphis. And so I love that idea because for some reason I'm feeling very sentimental trying to find out about him, though, I didn't know. I met him one time. But it's, knowing where you came from and then knowing his story. Because there was something going on there in his story, disconnect with his mother. And I'm really trying to get to the bottom of it. But I think that's a great project. Like you don't know your whole story. And so instead of being bitter, instead of being resentful, let's find out what's daddy's story. Because a lot of times my mother didn't do it. My mother was very neutral. But some mothers do paint a terrible picture of that guy who left. And, so you're almost like, yeah, he's a bad guy or whatever versus like giving him a chance. But
well, I agree with that. And the girls bought you for Father's Day, one of those journal. It's all on the TikTok shop now about basically giving it to your father or your mother and asking them to fill in. It's like a journal answering these questions so that the future generations know who their dad was, now their granddad one day, hopefully. So, no, I think it's definitely a trend. I think it's important to know.
Yes.
It's very important to know where you come from. You have more family members.
I know. My family's in the house. Vivi's there with Charlene and Lisa. And these are my cousins. And again, my father wasn't in my life, but there was a picture of my Uncle Emmett, which was Charlene and Lisa's dad and Vivi's dad. And also a picture of my grandfather who was in there, who passed before I was, he passed when I was 3, I believe. So I didn't know him, but just the memories of him. And my Uncle Inman, I love so much. Going over my Uncle Emmen's house. So here I'm an only child. I know, Allison, you enjoy going over your cousin's house. So me going over my cousin's house was a highlight to my life. Uncle Emmen was a lot of conversation. He's much like my grandfather, they say. Very smart. He was a hard-working printer. And the print shop was in the back. So when Uncle Emmen came in, he was about routine. So Uncle Emmen would come in. He'd make popcorn, 5 kids. So make popcorn. He'd do the lunch meat and cheese. It was the same routine. He'd hang out, then go upstairs and read the newspapers, all the newspapers.
Love it.
And it was like that showed
the
me.
lost art.
That showed me Uncle Emmen, he never worked for anybody else, was his own man.
Amen.
They went to all 50 states. They drove. They always had a Cadillac. Lisa, me and Charlene. And we used to play dress up. And I told you the story before. So I was always the construction worker.
As you should be.
A construction worker, and we used towels for hair. So I always had long hair.
Okay.
Because of construction workers. Valencia was a detective, Slick V.
Okay.
Charlene was older. And Lisa was a secretary for Vivi. Lisa, but it was so funny, like the roles that you played back in those days. So again, I was just blessed because I was surrounded by love. My Aunt Dorothy, who's still living in her 90s, just would listen to me. That's probably why I became announcer because I'd go over there. So imagine I was young, but I'd go over there and they'd have the floor. Hey, Larry, that's my real name, guys. Larry, do an impression of so-and-so. Do Uncle Will. I do the impressions.
Right.
And I
You were an
play with
entertainer.
them. And so, again, shout out to you guys. And then
He was an entertainer.
entertainer, yes. Okay. All right.
Dr. Brown, hello.
All right.
She's talking about grants that
Okay.
Dave might be able to.
Yeah, that's a great right, and medically important. I cut that cousin I was telling you about. My cousin, shout out to my cousin Jesse, on the West Coast, and I asked him. I said, "So is my dad again?" Because me and Allison went to my first appointment for this MS diagnosis, which may or may not be MS. We're finding out. So I got a battery of tests. They asked about my father, and I didn't know his medical history, so I asked my cousin. He said he was healthy as a horse, but he was a drinker. He was an alcoholic, but he was healthy as a horse. So that was great to know, because you're like, okay, well, that's good to know. You know what I thought about? I had never thought about it in my life, and again, because you don't really think about it. One time I got my teeth pulled, and my dentist said, and he's a black dentist, he said, have you ever heard of the term slave teeth?
Mm-hmm. George Washington had.
And I said,
his mouth was filled with slave teeth.
But he meant from a standpoint of
They're
very
strong.
hard to pull.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I hadn't heard of it. But then I forgot about.
Which is a gruesome term, by the way.
It is a very gruesome term. But I forgot about my people on my dad's side are from where? Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, so then it's like, wow, okay, that could make sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Slave teeth. Okay, yes.
This is a really weird podcast today.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Hey, that's right. Slick V. Slick V knows that what it is. VV was Slick V, a detective. So, all right. So now, moving on to the podcast, we got a chance to see Frankie Beverly.
Let's talk about it. I finally got to see Frankie Beverly. Mark, you have seen Frankie Beverly in the past. I finally got a chance.
It's like a rite of passage.
To see him, and it was his farewell tour, and it was beautiful. The name of the tour was I Want to Thank You, of course. I want to thank you, and it was that, and it felt like being at a family reunion.
And so, babe,
it was wonderful.
I know,
and he's not his voice. I get it. But he's 77 years old, and he showed up.
He wrote these amazing songs.
He stood on that stage for what feels like an hour and a half. He came on at 10 o'clock, which is more than I'm asleep at 10 o'clock. So, I'm so happy I went to see him.
And so, babe, really seeing him at Essence Fest was really the thing. But I know finances are tight. Is there any way we can go to Essence Fest this year?
If you pay for it, we can go.
Okay, you guys heard it. If I pay for it, we can go.
Yeah.
Frankie won't be there,
right.
But I just for the memory, because babe, everybody doing sliding
so
to
great.
Frankie Beverly's making. So, babe, I want to paint the picture. First, you're going to see us out for the night to the concert, the pre-concert. Then we're going to see a poignant moment from the concert. Are we ready?
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. We'll start with us. A night out. A little gassy this morning. It's okay. This was before the concert. That's actually after the concert. I want to see what we had on. Dave was a superstar. This was before the concert. Everybody in mic. Come on. At the end of the concert, there was a special moment, and of course,
that was the DJ playing and killed it. And there was also a go-go interlude, and everybody got up. So
crazy.
I love it. I'm trying to remember the DJ's name that was there.
DJ 6 Cents?
DJ 6 Cents. Yeah, and amazing, and the vibe, and that was before Frankie even came out.
And so we're gonna hop to near the end when, of course, radio legend Donnie Simpson comes out. And they did a little tribute to Frankie.
Okay.
DC. What's up? Hey, you know what? I'm watching everybody doing all these songs tonight. I'm like, I don't know if we should be doing a farewell tour. I'm proposing we can come back another year or two. We call it like what the hell, why not tour? Let's do this one more time. Frankie, man, people love you, man. They love you, seriously, if you never met Frank, you still feel like he's your brother, right? No question. Well, I've had the honor of knowing this man for, I guess, almost 40 years now. From day one, he was like a brother to me. I'm telling you, I just could not find a better friend than Frankie. You know, I want to thank you, man, for the music that you've given us. You know, not just this groove, but on top of that groove, man, messages of love and peace and oneness. You know, we appreciate you, man. I love you, man, with all my heart. You know, Mama Rose looking down on you tonight. Proud, man. Proud, brother. Proud, man. I love you to death, Frankie. God bless you, man. Washington, D.C., make some noise! I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you. Oh, I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you. Washington, D.C., we love you. We want to thank 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 you. Everybody clap your hands. Wonder can you clap your hands? God, give it. Wonder can you clap your hands? Uncle Frankie, you are my sunshine. Bless you, God. Oh, bless you. Bless you, bless me, Lord. Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. You are my sunshine, yeah. You brighten up my life. I know that I'm not right sometimes. Oh, I need your soul. There's something special, man. You're moving all the time. I know that you are mine, all mine. You always let me go. I just don't believe it. What's the, can y'all sing along with us right here? Can y'all sing along with us? All over the building. Oh, you keep me smiling. The things you do for me. I know that you will be right here. Yes, I will. You're all
Yeah, you guys got a chance. I want to give you that. It's
Do you have the end?
You can't help. You can't help but.
Oh, you got to tear up. But do you have the end when he's getting his flowers, his standing ovation at the end of the show?
Mm-mm.
You don't have that. I have that. I should have given it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is up on their feet. I don't know. I can't show. Can I show it? If I just have it or no?
What do you have?
Well, let me just see. But let me say this. Did you know somebody said sing Freddie? So,
You meant Frankie.
Frankie. Okay. Because I wondered who that artist was. I didn't know if it was because she said uncle at a certain point, but of course we use uncle as a term of endearment, so I wasn't sure.
I thought there was a connection to Marvin Gaye. I
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought there was.
Okay.
But if you have it, babe, let's see. Here, is that it?
Can I just show it?
No, I'll post it up.
Yeah, okay.
Put it up to you.
Anyway, so yeah, seeing Frankie Beverly, it just felt like just total good vibes. It felt like there was a moment of unity. I don't know why, maybe because everybody had on the white and everybody was there for one purpose. And it just felt like, really his ministry. He had done what he was sent here to do. And so my thing is, I don't think that I'm going to ever speak another word about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame until Frankie Beverly is in it.
Well, definitely. And that was that's what the feeling.
I'm not going to speak another word about it.
I always said Frankie Beverly.
I want to hear about the Bananarama or whoever is in the Hall of Fame. What was the name? Whoever it is.
Baby,
until my man Frankie Beverly.
Did you delete those? Send it to me.
Okay.
So I think that was it. I used to say Frankie Beverly's and Mays was the black version of the Grateful Dead, as far as
yes.
It was a vibe. It was a vibe, and that's the thing. Remember, I was kind of concerned about, I was concerned about seeing Frankie because I knew he wasn't, all the way up to par. But it didn't matter.
He was there.
And that's the thing about these artists. It's like Marvin Gaye. It don't matter. You already did it. You got the receipts, and of course you cannot listen and not go home and on the drive home. You got to play Frankie. Right now, you're gonna have to play Frankie because it's like it
Bootsy
triggers
some history.
It triggers the memories.
It's good music. Joy and Pain. We Are One.
Yes.
We don't have these songs anymore. Yeah. And it shows in our community. And that's just
definitely.
period. So, okay. I'm signing the petition to get Frankie Beverly in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I sure did. So, Bootsy or Sally says that Marvin put the band up in a house, paid for them all to while they were struggling in the beginning to help them get over the hump. And something I didn't know is that song, Silky Soul Singer,
Soul.
that was dedicated to Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. But
here comes another story because I'm a radio DJ. So like Bootsy, a radio DJ, I was in Huntsville, Alabama when they did it because his manager, Joe, can't think of Joe's name. He's been the manager forever. He was like, man, we got some hotness, man. This new thing is hot. So we went to the studio and he played it for us, and it was hot. It was the Silky Soul. That I forgot the name of the album, but that was a huge hit and probably one of the newer hits.
Okay, Sonia, we signing it. Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, but because babe, you made a great point at the concert about, sadly, Frankie Beverly and Mays. Almost Luther was in that box until, like, when you hear non-R&B people talk about Luther, they'll talk about Give Me the Reason because that was in the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of the black audience, that's like, give me a reason. That's not the jams.
Right.
And so Frankie Beverly Mays, I don't know if he ever had a crossover song.
Well, there's a lot of, but guess what? There are a lot of artists in there who were very specific to different genres that I've never heard.
Definitely.
So, I don't really care about that.
No, it's definitely biased, no doubt. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, he definitely deserves to be in that. He definitely does. And again, it was a great night. The energy was great.
Night.
The energy was great. And DC, I don't think, when you talk about DC, Detroit,
Philly,
Memphis, Philly, Chicago, these cities, they love music. It's a religion. And frankly, if music is a religion, then Frankie Beverly and Mays is definitely Psalms, and I don't know my Bible. So did I hit that right? Did I hit it, babe?
Psalms, I think, really translates to song. So, okay.
Okay.
They
gave me a shaky endorsement on that.
They definitely have a music ministry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So this is just the end, and then we'll get out of this topic. But what it must feel like to receive all of this love, to come out on stage at 77, and yeah, people know, like, yes, perhaps there was a health challenge and the voice is not going to be in full voice anymore, but to still come out en masse and take in one last concert from Frankie Beverly. Maze will go on, but Frankie Beverly is stepping away from the mic. So we are getting this together, but yeah, it was a wonderful night. I'm so glad that I went. Do you have it? Because what we can also talk about, it's Juneteenth. I wanted to give a shout out to Berryville, Virginia, which is where we have spent the last 3 years. Berryville, Virginia is a small community out in Clarke County, Virginia, and it's been our pleasure to be there. Just a good feeling community. And for me, I think I love going to Berryville for Juneteenth because it reminds me of, it's in the country. I think it reminds me of those remote spaces where those 250,000 enslaved Africans didn't find out that they were free until 2.5 years after they were free. So I don't know why, but thank you, Berryville. Thank you so much for having us out again. So this is the end of the concert before Frankie Beverly went off the stage. Just taking this love for a second. Hit it.
Doesn't get better than that, man.
I mean, that's what you need.
Yeah.
I wish that every person who had a life well lived could get that. Like, from everybody that you've touched, to get that moment, it's just so powerful. And I feel like he's good. You know what I mean? I feel like he is good.
And Bootsy told me, Salih said that what I love also is that Donnie Simpson's gonna go with him on this world tour, which I love that.
Somebody said Donnie looks the same. He sure does.
I love that he's got his brother with him, who's been there from the beginning, and that's back when radio DJs knew the performers. And Donnie's not retired, but he's got time. And I love the fact that the Hit the Road with Frankie as he wraps things up is so awesome.
And I bet Frankie loves it too.
Oh yeah, and what a way, man.
Yeah. All right. I know I had something else to talk about, but I forgot. I think you have an Ask Allison.
I got to ask Allison.
Okay. All right.
And,
let's get it.
Else here. What is the other thing? Oh, I know what it was. What was the thing? Oh, here it is. One more thing I wanted to.
Y'all see Justin Timberlake got a DUI. And the internet is clowning him. It's not fair. The internet is clowning him because he told the cop who arrested him, the cop was too young. He didn't know who he was. But he said, "This is not going to be good for my world tour." And the police officer was like, "Wait,
yeah,
what world tour?
I don't care. Sign this."
So, okay, we send love out to Justin Timberlake because do not drink and drive. Period. Also, John Murray, he's checking in on my.
Okay, John.
Checking in. He's, of course, with the Sherry Shepherd Show.
Go, John.
We've known John for many years. He was a frequent guest on Fox 5, and he was actually on Fox 5 this morning, is what he said, and he's in town. So, hello to you. I don't think he's logged on, but I just wanted to say hello, and hello to your sweet mother as well. Thank you so much for checking in. Also, speaking of Bootsy, let's give Bootsy a quick shout out. Salih Williams is on here, who is head of the Dean Wood broadcast program.
Yes.
This year, the scholars who've gone through his broadcast program, 9 seniors, 8 college scholarships, plus a young lady who Salih has really mentored through these years and has become a true father figure for. She is entering her 2nd year at my alma mater. She transferred in. She's got another full ride. This girl is straight A's,
wow.
honor college and all that. And a big shout out also today to Jessica. I don't want to say Jessica's last name, but Jessica's on her way. And it's just incredible. So shout out to you, And this year, I will be bringing Mark with me if you can make it for when we go visit Deanwood Rec Center.
Okay,
So,
I'm taking off.
yeah,
'Cause
congratulations.
Bootsy's doing tremendous work, and he never invited me.
To you, Sally. And yes,
Bootsy never invited me, but I'm not holding against him. That's my brother. I love him. So speaking of Bootsy, Bootsy, and babe, I'm not going to do it because you don't like me to talk about this thing, but I would just say this. Bootsy, when Allison and I had an afternoon show, he's the one to put together the theme song for Ask Allison.
Yeah.
And so I posted this on my page. There's the original from the Golden Girls theme song, and then there's one that went viral with a brother who was ad-libbing, and so they actually came together on one stage. I'll play the audio. I don't have the video for you, but I'll play the audio. You're just gonna hear it. But they came together on one stage. It looks like like live, obviously. I thought it just sounded
He
very.
is doubling down. Okay, Mark.
What do you mean doubling down?
Doubling down on your message on the thing.
I didn't say the part that you did not like.
Okay, you're right. He said on there that when we were on.
Now look at you.
Well, because I was taught a long time ago, you don't do like little secrets talking amongst yourself when you're on. So
I did not mention that at all.
Right. So
I focus on the song. So
as I'm saying, I brought it up,
right.
And so I will tell that if you're on Mark's IG page, which you should follow anyway, he made the comment that we played this on our radio show when we were on WHUR, and the brass didn't like it because they thought it skewed too old, and during COVID in July, like we were let out of our contracts. And I hate to say let go and all that, whatever. Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad I was on it. But anyway, that's what Mark posted. And that's what I had a problem with. And that's what I thought you were doubling down on. But I was wrong.
And so you have the original, and then you have the brother who became famous remixing it. And I want you to hear it.
Want to hear it? Here we go. See? That's the ancestor.
And Bootsy is a friend. Thank you for creating. And this is what he created for Ask Allison. And then we got the Ask Allison coming up next.
Thank you for being a friend.
Perfect.
Now it's time to ask Allison. We love her point of view. She's our girl and our confidant. Now listen, everybody. This is the time we want to hear from you. So come on in and ask Allison. Here's the part of the show where you get to ask Allison.
I'm really curious about this, Allison. I want to see your face. I want to see your reaction. Dear Ask Allison, my husband is acting different. He's wearing new colognes, obsessed with working out, and seems to be much more attentive.
To whom?
To her.
Oh, okay.
We've been married 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, what's up? Allison, what do you say?
Well, if he's attentive to her, then she doesn't have anything to worry about. Right? Does she suspect he's doing other things?
I think she's just like, It'd be like if I started doing that.
If you started doing that, first of all, I would say enjoy this. If you're reaping the benefits, he's not staying out late. He's not, his behavior haven't changed outside the house or his, his comings and goings and all that. You guys been married for 30 years. Enjoy it. He just looked in the mirror one day and it was like, you know what? I'm not going to be the same person anymore because I deserve to get a little upgrade and she deserves to, have the best me. So enjoy it. And maybe, maybe do the same for yourself, whatever that is. If you take a moment to just stop and be like, I think what happens is you get so comfortable and used to almost being in a partnership that you forget that you're not just friends, you're not roommates, you're not any of this. You're still in a romantic relationship. Although I know it changes. Trust me, I understand that. But I think that if that's the case, be like, what's going on? Well, I just want to, just wanted to do it. I just want to feel a little bit better about myself. Is probably the answer. And I bet he's going to be happy that you noticed it. And I bet he's going to, just feel like it was worth it because of that. So
I love it. And it's so interesting. Like you said, we've been together for coming up on 25 years, and you do have routines.
Yeah.
And it's funny when.
Like, close the damn door when you go to the bathroom.
Well, what I think
How
is
about
funny.
that? So little things. So if somebody does those little things, that's saying, and I know that's a controversial one. Those of you in relationships, do you close the bathroom when you go? Do you close the door when you go to the bathroom? I always do. You do not. And it's just, it's a thing. It's like what it is. So if one day you started closing, I would think, you know what? He listened to me.
Well, babe, I don't even go to the bathroom near you. So I don't even know. We're never around. I'm in another room.
You have stopped. You used to do it a lot more. So,
well, yeah.
So I think I think it's good. If you do not suspect that he is doing this for another person, then enjoy it. Look at it. I'm glad you noticed it. I'm sure he will be glad you noticed it too. And maybe do the same thing. Y'all, do the little refresh, come up together.
I thought it was funny. Our washer was down, so I bought, and I'm from the Midwest, I say washer, thank you very much. I bought some underwear. Allison was like, what is this? I got like little designer underwear, not designer, underwear with designs on them, baby. You were like, what's this? Right,
because we notice. If you're paying attention, we notice. And you notice those little like mood shifts and all that kind of stuff too. Right. Man, I don't want you in the bathroom. That's just me. But I had a grandmother who never, I think she went to bed with makeup on. Like this was that generation. So, or woke up and put the makeup on and whatever. But that's just me. I think it's important to keep a little bit of that thing alive. So I say you need to be like, baby, I see what you're doing. I appreciate it. I don't know exactly what it is. Do your thing. And I'm going to do my thing too.
Wallace said it looks like his wife sent this.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I love the song. Let's wrap it up one more time with that song. Listen what people say. Let's sign your. She says, we notice the patterns changing. That's right. Yeah, we noticed. Y'all be noticing now. I just love this song.
Thank you for being a friend. Now it's time to ask Allison. We love her point of view. She's our girl and our confidant. Now listen, everybody. This is the time we want to hear from you. So come on in and ask Allison. Here's the part of the show where you get to ask Allison.
People in the area, specifically people who live over by the National Harbor, babe, I've got good news.
Okay.
There's a possibility. Oh, I love it. Yes. Barbara Pilgrim loves it. I love it. Bootsy, if you're still watching or still whatever, got some love. For those who live near the National Harbor, there's a possibility, babe, that Allison and Marc in the afternoon could be coming back on your radio.
Awesome.
On a new radio station.
Okay.
And so that would be really fun. And what we do is we incorporate all this stuff. So then we'd stream the show. We actually incorporate the podcast in the show. So basically the cameras will be up and everything. So I'd just be.
Well, let me know because I'm about to go on an interview for a part-time job. So let me know.
Yes. Well, and then good news.
I'm not even joking.
Oh, what? Oh,
Sheridan
is back. What's up, Jennifer? Also, I had today I had a contract conversation with my job in Baltimore. So I'm excited. Okay, V, Slick V. For those who don't know, my cousin, Vivi, is, and now Vivi's in her 40s. Vivi in your 40s? Yeah, in 40s. Vivi Valencia is the greatest athlete in our family.
Awesome.
And it was great to see this go down. And I just want to give her love because that's, the greatest. I say it, Vivi. That's right. I said it. Vivi went 17.5. She long jumped 17.5 in high school. 55? What the heck?
You didn't know Vivi was 55? Just a couple of years behind us?
Yeah, it's crazy because, in your kids, she was the little cousin. You're only 3 years younger. Who knew? 55. She went 17.5, right, V? And she was a sprinter and all that. So anyway, I think that's all we have for the show.
Okay, well, let's just end. Yeah, so Parting shots? You mean just like
Anything.
statements? Yeah. I just want to say that on this Juneteenth, it's just very interesting. Like, I'm just always very keenly aware of the history of our people in these United States, and on days like today, I just feel so proud that even in those dark days, there was joy to be found and celebration to be had. I know that it was Freedom Day, but to not be just so angry and so full of hate. Instead, there was love, there was joy, there was celebration, there was optimism. You know, there was a real feeling of it's a new day, and it took another 100 years for Black people in this country to recognize their full civil rights and voting rights. And we know, even though voting rights and civil rights law wasn't passed, although we know those were passed in the mid-'60s, it would take even longer in some spaces for them to be fully recognized. And most importantly, the hearts of people to continue, all these years later, to continue to change. It feels like an uphill battle sometimes, but I like to hold on to the optimism that our ancestors had, even in those dark and dismal days, like days that you could walk down the street and never come home again, and people would understand, well, somebody probably caught him on the road, you know. And so we are from strong stock, and every day I walk in with that knowledge. It makes me stronger. It makes me stronger. And there's a book title. It's called I think it's The Older I Get, the Blacker I Become, or something like that. I forget the name of the book. But I think for me, how that manifests is you just feel like, no, that's not going to happen to an abusive manager, like that story of the people in the elevator in Macy's. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You know, when the manager tells the Black woman she's fired, she says she had a family emergency, and he says something about we're not doing this on Black folks' time and all that. No, we're not. That's over. Like, and there has to be that collective feeling from all of us. And I know that one day we will get there to complete freedom for everybody, for all of us. We're still working towards that, but I'm just keenly aware and thankful for every single person who came before me. And on this Juneteenth, just like Frankie Beverly said, I just want to thank you.
I love it. That's a great way to end the show. Again, everybody, thank you so much for supporting us. Appreciate the support, and please have a blessed rest of the week. And we will see you next Wednesday. Same bad time, same bad station. Take care.